all stand as members of Symphonic Choir here at Memorial sing our national anthem, The Star-Spangled Banner.
You're live on YouTube.
All righty, welcome everybody to another broadcast of Rider Nation Station here at Murrow Tech Court in St. Mary's. Hopefully all of you enjoyed the Hall of Fame induction ceremony of the inaugural class of Hall of Fame Lady Rider basketball players that was held back in November of 2019. Kudos to John Burke, Coach John Burke, and the principal for getting that initiated, and Mike and Kelly J for doing all of the homework and contact to find the 20 girls who were inducted. Great ceremony. And also tune in for our vodcast that we will have ceremonies of about a half dozen of the gals, of the 20 gals who were inducted that night. What a great event. And coming next year will be the induction ceremony for the boys. And I believe there's about 40 that are for that. So exciting times here at Murrow Tech Court. We've got a great WBL matchup with the Bath Wild Kittens. And right now we're doing the starting lineups. And Joe, we're alternating lineups, so I'll turn it over to you.
Well, Doug, the Bath Wild Kittens are under the head coaching direction of Greg Malk. He's been at the helm for Bath this is his 22nd year. They come in with a record of 17 wins, 2 losses overall, 6-1 in the Western Buckeye League, and they recently received a number 3 seed in the sectional draw. They will start Abby Dakin, a 5'6" junior, Alexandria Renner, a 5'4" freshman, Chandler Clark, a 5'3" freshman, Ruby Bolin, a 5'11" junior, and Madeline Renner, a 5'9" junior. So they're very young. For the Rough Riders, John Burke in his second year as the head coach. He'll start 3 sophomores, 2 seniors. He comes in with a record of 15 wins, 4 losses. I believe they're on a 12-game winning streak. They're 4-3 in the Western Buckeye League. And they will start Carly Kaywood, a 5'8" senior, Allie Will, a 5'5" senior, Elena Menker, a 5'6" sophomore, Kendall Deringer, a 5'4" sophomore, and Noelle Ruane, a 5'7" sophomore. So a lot of youth on the floor tonight, a lot of talent we're going to see, Doug. And, of course, as I mentioned earlier, the Riders have 3 seniors on their roster. The Bath Wild Kittens have no seniors on their roster whatsoever on the varsity squad or on the JV squad. So there's a lot in the tank for both of these teams.
Absolutely. And, you know, back in the day, Coach John Burke's father-in-law, Bruce Brown, was at the helm for the Lady Riders, and he and Greg Malk had some awesome coaching matchups throughout the 2000s. And, you know, I think we're going to see that, as you just identified, that we've got a youth movement on both sides of the floor. Would like to pay special thanks to our sponsors, Laura Yelton State Farm, attorney Dave Walbacher, the Rider Rooters, and our scoreboard sponsor, Schaff Auto Sales. and Bath Wild Kittens have the tip. Top of the key over to Abby Dack and to the top of Ruby Bolin. Ruby Bolin is the playmaker. She's got a sister. They're both wonderful tennis players. Number 13, who's not on the floor, is her sister. Shots up, rebounded by number 34. I believe we're going to have a jump ball call. Thought we might have a travel there, but decided that it was a jump ball, possession arrow in favor of the Lady Riders. Carly Kaywood back to Kendall Daringer, gets it across with Allie Will. Allie dribbles all the way up and puts it in, but it's blocked. Recovered by the Wild Kittens. Chandler Clark is the point guard. She's the distributor for this highly potent offense. They shoot very well from behind the arc, and Coach John Burke said one of the keys to the game as the ball is thrown out with good defense is having a hand in the face and limiting them to one shot opportunity per possession.
Well, keep in mind, they've got some height in the middle with Ruby Bolin at 5'11", so the Riders are going to have to do a good job blocking out.
Another turnover for the Rough Riders and another turnover for the Wild Kittens. Looks like we're going to have another jump ball. Possession arrow favors the Wild Kittens. The other key that Coach Burke mentioned is that he has to make certain that they get to play their game and not into the rat race that the Bath Wild Kittens are going to try to get them into. They're going to press baseline to baseline as the pass is made inside to Ruby Bolin, kicks out to number 11, Alexandria Renner. Air ball goes out on the Rough Riders, be the Bath Wild Kittens ball underneath once again. But really have to play our game, take care of the ball, especially against that press.
Absolutely.
Kicked out deep to Renner. Renner's going to fire it up hard off the back iron. Rebound by the sophomore, Kendall Daringer. Quickly to Elena Minker to Carly Kaywood with Noe Ruane hitting the 17-footer from the baseline on the Schaff Auto Sales scoreboard. First points, St. Mary's 2, Bath 0. Dacken dribbling the right side, kicks it to Renner. Renner with the left-handed dribble to the top of the key to Madeline Renner. Chandler Clark, she's the distributor. Good defense, but finds an opening from Clark to Alexandria Renner. She goes up with the left hand, puts it off the glass, 2 points, 2-2. And there we go with another turnover.
Not a good pass there.
This Bath Wild Kitten man-to-man press giving a little bit of fit for the Rough Riders as they've already committed 2 turnovers with just 2 minutes and 2 seconds off the clock.
Good defense there.
Nice job by
Allie Will.
number 3, Allie Will. And one of the things that you see a lot of basketball players is try to go with the non-ball side hand to deflect passes, and she was well coached. She was able to deflect that with the ball side. When you go non-ball side, it takes too much time. You don't get the steal or the deflection. And the ball goes up. It's Chandler Clark with 2 points. 4-2 is the lead for the Bath Wild Kittens. Noe Ruane bringing it up, but it's stolen. Stolen by number 23, Ruby Bolin, the playmaker. She gets the thievery and the points. 6-2 for the Bath Wild Kittens. And we've got another turnover. Puts it up, number 22, no good. 23 follows up. That's Bolin. It's rebounded then by number 11, Alexandria Renner, and we've got a scrum going on. Coach Burke gets a timeout called wisely, and we are going to take a timeout as well. For all of your insurance needs, see homegrown, hometown agent Laura Yelton and her team, Doug, Susan, and Becky, at 215 East Spring Street in downtown St. Mary's, Ohio. Be a legend. Insure your life. Are you faced with an injustice of the law? If so, call attorney David Walbacher for all of your legal needs. That's David Walbacher, 216-225-9181. The Rider Rooters is proud to be a sponsor of tonight's game on Rider Nation Station. Rider Rooters support all Memorial High School Rough Rider athletics. The official booster group of Memorial High School has been providing financial support to Rough Rider sports for over 40 years. Thanks to the Rough Rider community for all of your support. And at Schaff Auto Sales, we always have a large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles with prices to fit all budgets. So before you buy, give us a try. See Aaron High, the car guy. And we're back here at Murrow Tech Court. Very special thank you to those fine sponsors. And on the Schaff Auto Sales scoreboard, the Lady Riders are down to the Bath Wild Kittens 6-2. Took their first time out. Noe Roane is to trigger it in against this man-to-man press.
Doug, what you're seeing right now is you're seeing the press of the Bath Wild Kittens really starting to get to St. Mary's. They've already committed 4 turnovers here in the first quarter.
Kendall Daringer with some nice dribbling, kicks it over to Roane. Roane to Will. Will sucks them into the paint, fires it out to Laney Maker, who drills that Laura Yelton State Farm three-pointer, your good neighbor agent. Fast-paced game, fired up three-pointer by number 22, Chandler Clark. It goes out of bounds. A little bit of life there with that nice three by Laney Maker to bring the Schaff Auto Sales scoreboard 5-6 Riders. But facing this man-to-man run and jump, full court press, Allie Will bringing it up the floor. Bounce pass over to Carly Kaywood. She swings over to Noe Roane. Noe kicks back to Will. Will takes it down the lane. She's going to put it up and off the glass for 2 points. Beautiful drive. That's how you do it, Joe.
Well, she saw an opening down the lane, and she took it right to the hole and banked it off the glass for 2 instead of giving it up. So, good job.
We've got a turnover against the Bath Wild Kittens, a double dribble call that you don't see a whole lot. And we also have first substitution for the Wild Kittens. Number 13, Esther Bolin, sister of playmaker number 23, Ruby Bolin. Danger, the young sophomore point guard, brings a ball across, finds Kaywood. Kaywood kicks out to Will in the right corner. Man-to-man defense by the Wild Kittens. Kaywood takes her to town, gets fouled from behind. She's going to be shooting 2 as the foul is called against the Wild Kittens.
Foul's called on Ruby Bolin. That's her first, team first.
Kaywood shooting 2. She's got 4 dribbles. She eyes it. She flies it. Nothing but net. And we've got St. Mary's' first substitution of the contest. We've got another youth movement coming in here, Joe. We've got number 20, Cora Rabel. She's a 5'4" freshman. As Kaywood eyes the second one and hits it. Schaff Auto Sales scoreboard, St. Mary's 9, Bath 6, 4 minutes to play in this first quarter of action. Also checking in for the Wild Kittens at the substitution was number 5, Jadeja Hardison. They feed the ball inside to Hardison. It's a scrum again. And we're going to have our third jump ball of this contest, and we're just under 4 minutes of play.
I'll tell you what, the ball goes on the floor. The Riders show no fear. They'll go after it.
Kaywood triggers it into Kaywood. Kaywood to Will, back to Kaywood. Up top of the key with the ball, sophomore point guard, Daringer. She passes it. Sophomore Noe Ruane back to Daringer. Still man-to-man pressure by the Bath Wild Kittens. Will with a nice fake, puts a nice little dish to Kendall Daringer for a little 10-footer. Nice shot, nice penetration. 11-6, Rough Riders, 3:15 to go. Chandler being pressured hard, full court by Kendall Daringer. Gets the ball into the hands of Jadeja Hardison. Swung over to Clark. Clark directing things to the top of the key to number 13, Esther Bolin. Swings back over to the left side to Hardison. Hardison feeds inside to Ruby Bolin. She does a nice job with a nice post movement. Off the glass, puts it in for 2. Here's the pressure. Look, weak side.
Oh, nice. Ooh.
Rabel with the fake. She puts it up just a little short, but there's Daringer with the rebound. She puts it up off the glass from the left side and in on that Schaff Auto Sales scoreboard. St. Mary's 13 and the Wild Kittens 8. got a nice pace game going on here. I know that Coach Burke wanted it slowed down a little bit, but the Riders are taking advantage where they are giving
The
it.
jump ball. Absolutely.
And we're on pace to set a Guinness World Record for jump balls in the first quarter of action here at Murrow Tech Court. But the Riders are doing a nice job fighting fire with fire. There's that defensive pressure. They're taking the ball to the hoop and making things happen with either putting it up off the glass or distributing it up off the glass. Nice job to the Lady Riders.
Kylie Tennant checks in for the Rough Riders.
Deep three ball by Renner. It goes off the right side, and there's Allie Will to pull that rebound in. She's going to take it across the half-court line, being guarded by number 11, Alexandria Renner. Ruane with the dribble on the right side. Gets a screen from Kaywood. Back to Kaywood, who quickly fires up a three. Not good,
Nice.
but right there for the rebound is Kendall Derringer. She puts that rebound up and in, 15-8.
Good inside position there. Got the offensive board and stuck it right back up and in.
Derringer leading all scores at this point in time with 6 points. Renner atop the key, guarded by Kaywood, finds Alexandria Renner. Back to number 13, Esther Bolin with the three-point shot. It rattles in 4-3, 15-11. Tennant with the basket. She finds Noe on the right-hand side. Noe gets bumped.
She's
Oh,
open.
should have shot the ball.
Yep, she had the shot.
Had bumped. It backed the Bath Wildkitten player back underneath the hoop and could have shot the ball. Nobody was within 4 feet of her. Turnover nonetheless, and here we go with the Rough Riders playing defense. Another substitution for the Wildkittens,
Rachel
number 20.
Rachel Clark.
And Clark dribbles and finds Hardison, who shoots a deep three, gets rebounded by Renner, who puts it back up off the glass, and she's going to go to the free throw line for that old-fashioned three-point play with 51.5 seconds to go in this first quarter here at Murrow Tech Court. More substitutions. Lainey Minker comes back in for the Rough Riders and Abby Dakin for the Wildkittens.
Kylie Tennant picked up the foul. That's her first. That's the team's first. So really, as fast-paced as this ball game has gone, very few fouls here in the first quarter. So it's been a very clean ball game.
That old-fashioned three-point play is attained by Madeline Renner. Kaywood gets it across to Noe Roane. She's on the right side. She finds Derringer inside.
Nope.
Derringer tries to feed it to Minker. Too many people.
Wow, nice
Somehow
job.
she comes up with the ball, and Kaywood goes hard to the hole.
Mercy.
A little deflection. Ruane comes up with it. She kicks it left to Will. Will to the top of the key to Noe Ruane. Derringer's going to reset things up very wisely here. Got 20 seconds to go. Want to get the last second shot. 15-14 is the score. St. Mary's has the advantage. We're at 10 seconds to go. Swings over to Minker. Almost loses it. Regains control. We're at 8. Derringer's at the volleyball line with 5 seconds to go. She's got a long way to go. Gets a screen from Kaywood. She tries to make some room. Finds Noe, puts it up, and just doesn't quite fall in. So a great quarter of action minus the turnovers that the Rough Riders had. They are leading by 1, 15-14. We're going to take commercial breaks and come back and bring you the second quarter of action here on Rider Nation Station. Rider Rooters is proud to be a sponsor of tonight's game on Rider Nation Station. Rider Rooters supports all Memorial High School Rough Rider athletics. The official booster group of Memorial High School has been providing financial support to Rough Rider sports for over 40 years. Thanks to the Rough Rider community for all of your support. At Schaff Auto Sales, we always have a large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles with prices to fit all budgets. So before you buy, give us a try. See Aaron High, the car guy. For all of your insurance needs, see hometown agent Laura Yelton and her team, Doug, Susan, and Becky, at 215 East Spring Street in downtown St. Mary's, Ohio. Be a legend and insure your life. And are you faced with an injustice of the law? If so, call attorney David Walbacher for all your legal needs. That's attorney David Walbacher, 216-225-9181. All righty, we're back here to bring you the second quarter of action at Murrow Tech. Joe, what's your summary of the first quarter?
from the floor, the Rough Riders shot 6 of 10. Exceptional shooting from the floor for 60%, while Bath was 6 of 14 for 42%. Both teams pulled down 4 rebounds apiece. Riders had 5 turnovers, and Bath had 2. And Riders perfect from the line, 2 for 2, and Bath perfect as well, 1 for 1. Traveling on the Bath Wildcats, so another turnover, their 3rd in the ballgame.
And that was after an Abby Dakin three-pointer that was missed and rebounded by Hardison and tagged with the travel call. St. Mary's with this man-to-man pressure. Allie Will does a nice job. They're looking to run and jump. Kaywood finds Daringer in that right corner. Back to Will. Will squares, finds Daringer. Daringer assessing, tries to force it into Kaywood, deflected. Fortunately, Maker was there to come up with the basketball. Not a lot of movement against this press right, or excuse me, they went into a 2-3 zone. Yep, and I think the Riders are just now assessing that. Find Kaywood. Kaywood dribbles into 2 defenders, kicks back out to Will. Swing pass over to Maker. Maker finds Daringer wide open from the corner, hard off the iron, and the rebound comes up to number 4, Abby Dack, and finally maintains control and gets it to the point guard, Chandler Clark. Clark swings over to number 4, Abby Dakin, who fires up another 3, hits the iron, no good. It goes out against the Bath player, going to be Rough Rider ball. So that's 2 quick shots in this second quarter that Abby Dakin's been able to take uncontested 3-point shots, and that's not what Coach Burke wanted. He wanted a hand in the face. They are limiting them for the most part to 1 shot, but the Rough Riders got to make certain that they're picking up all shooters.
You know, the Rough Lady Riders are playing extremely well. Let's mention this as well. They are playing without the services of 5'5" senior Lauren Cisco, who is not even in the gym tonight, fighting an illness. So Rough Riders are playing without their senior guard.
A lot of senior leadership, a lot of ball handling and outside shooting from Lauren Cisco. Back to action here. The Riders do a nice job taking care of that press. They feed inside to Kaywood. Kaywood back to Maker. Finds Noe, who gets her shot blocked just inside the free throw line. Nice scrappiness by this team as Kaywood comes up with the loose ball. Swing pass over to Rowan. Rowan back to Daringer. Fires up the 3, and nothing but net as we have that 3-pointer brought to you by State Farm agent Laura Yelton, your good neighbor agent. And on the Schaff Auto Sales scoreboard, St. Mary's 18 and Bath 14.
Kendall Daringer already with 9 points here in the first half.
Dack in there again with an uncontested 3-pointer. Misses. Daringer pulls down the rebound. Again, Dackin's been able to pull off 3, has no points yet so far. That is what you like to see right there, Joe. Pull down the rebound, outlet to the right side, find the sprinting Lainey Minker on the left side, feed her, she takes it to the hole. She gets 2 free throws from that block call.
And the foul's on Ruby Bolin, the 5'11" junior. That's her second, team second.
Ruby Bolin is the playmaker for the Bath Wildkittens, so that's important to keep in mind. She's sitting at 2 fouls as Coach Malk has her take a little bit of time on the pine with 5:46 to go. Doesn't want her to pick up that dreadful 3rd foul. Laney made her first free throw. She's eyeing it. She flies it, and she puts it in. Rough Riders been doing a fantastic job from the free throw line as their lead increases with 5:40 to go, 20-14 on the Schaff Auto Sales scoreboard. Chandler Clark working against Kendall Daringer. Kendall doing some nice pressure, got away with a foul. Clark puts it up. No good. How that's not a foul, but maybe a foul was called.
I think they called it. They're going to call over the back.
Nice defense by Daringer, and nice box out by the Lady Riders, causing Renner to go over the back, get her first foul. Carly Kaywood with the responsibility to get the ball in, finds Will. Back to Kaywood. Has the old reach behind on the dribble, made it work. Clark gets credit with tipping that ball out. And the Wildkittens are setting things up top of the key. Kicked over to Dakin, who's fired up 3 3-pointers to no avail thus far. There's Clark. She's directing things. She's the quarterback for Coach Greg Mock. She stepped back 3s. Short. There's Renner with a rebound. It's going to be tied up. Allie Will digs down, gets that ball tied up, and it's going to be turned over to the Rough Riders with the possession arrow. Kaywood's going to take a good breather with the 5-minute mark in the second quarter, and Ruane is going to trigger it in. Finds Manker. No, he's quite the capable ball handler. She gets the pass to Will. Will picks up the dribble, kicks it to the left side to Manker. Again, the Wildcats switched into a 2-3 zone starting in the second quarter, and giving the Rough Riders a little bit of a fit, trying to come up with some offense. It's
going to be a foul on Chandler Clark. That's her first, team's fourth.
The Wild Kittens, there's definitely a high-pressure defensive team, be it man-to-man or be it the 2-3 zone that we're seeing here, but made a little bit of a mistake reaching in. Rough Riders trigger it in. Daringer is orchestrating the offense here. First pass, they want to trap down in the corner, which they tried, but no, he had nothing to do with that. Felver, who just checked in, muscles it up, but it gets blocked, pulled in by Renner. Renner's quite the force inside the paint there, Joe.
Absolutely, and it's amazing as the Rough Riders have extended their lead to 6 points, and they've done this all with Ruby Boland sitting on the bench. So the Riders are making hay when they need to make some hay. Oh, my.
We had a nice box out off of that dribble penetration by Clark, who put the left-hander up and missed, but nobody gathered the ball after that, and easy 2 points for the Wild Kittens.
10-second call.
Another turnover with the 10-second violation. Takes more than 10 seconds to get that ball across half court.
Yep.
It's going to be a turnover, and that's what we just witnessed with that defensive full court pressure by the Wild Kittens.
7th turnover on the Riders.
There's Dak on the left side. She dribbles up, being guarded by sophomore Lainey Manker, who's hit a big three-pointer for the Rough Riders. And we've got another three-pointer, goes hard because it hits nothing but the glass board by Esther Boland. But somehow the Wild Kittens come up with it. They're in trouble. They're going to get a 5 count. She tries to make a bounce pass, goes off the hands of Noe Wayne. She got bailed out there. It was so close to a 5-second call. If you don't make a basketball move with the dribble within the 5 seconds, that's a violation. Backdoor off the sideline pass.
Not a good pass.
Esther Boland.
They had an easy 2. Not a good pass.
Boland fakes the 3, dribbles to the right side, gets stopped by Noe Ruane over the head. Then dribble penetration is Chandler Clark. She puts it up off the glass with the left hand for 2. Pulls the Wild Kittens within 2, 20-18. Maker inside to Kaywood, who came back in. Will gets double teamed. She finds Kaywood for a three-pointer. It's going to be hard, but there's Lainey Maker. Maker with the rebound. Finds Noe Ruane, who puts it up high in the sky. But no, there's Kendall Derringer. She's no good. Then rebounded by Lainey Maker, who puts it up. It's no good. And finally corralled by the Wild Kittens. 4 opportunities for points come up empty as Clark. Her mission right now is just to get to the hoop and put it up. She unfortunately missed it, or fortunately missed it if you're a Rider fan. Lainey Maker fires for the 3, but she's short. Probably too quick shot for Coach Burke's yearning right there. So I'm sure he's going to talk about that when we get into the halftime locker room with 2 minutes to go. Dakin with the left-handed dribble, guarded by Derringer. She picks it up. There's Renner, guarded by Kaywood. Man-to-man pressure for the Rough Riders. Dakin puts it up against Derringer, hits the back iron, no good. Controlled by Kaywood, who passes up to Ruane. Ruane goes up, but it's blocked by Ruby Boland, who checked back in. Correction by
that was Esther Boland.
Esther Boland, her sister. So Kendall Derringer is going to trigger it in underneath her own basket as Hardison comes back in for the Wild Kittens.
I think Cora Rabel checked back in for the Riders.
She did.
20.
Derringer finds Ruane. Hardison D'ing up against Ruane. Passes to Kaywood. Kaywood into the corner to Derringer, who's going to slice and dice. Almost gets
traveled.
Hardison almost got the ball tipped away, but in the process, Kendall Daringer gets tagged with the travel, another Rough Rider turnover.
8 turnovers for the Rough Riders. Unfortunately for the Rough Riders, the Wild Kittens haven't been able to capitalize on turnovers because that's a potential 16 points they're looking at, and Riders still lead by 2, 20-18.
Esther Bolin,
Whoa.
she pulled her pivot foot, no call, over to Hardison in the right corner, guarded by Daringer. Kicks back up to Alexandria Renner, who kicks over to Rachel Clark. Clark hands off to Hardison, who fires up a 3 and buries it. And the Bath Wild Kittens take a lead with 1:10 to go, 21-20. Daringer gets it across to freshman Cora Rabel. Rabel fires it inside to Kaywood. Back to Cora Rabel, who finds Kaywood but can't put it inside the paint. Rebound by Hardison for the Wild Kittens. 52 seconds to go in this first half of action at Murrow Tech Court. Hardison working against Daringer. Switch to Ruane. Clark guarded by Cora Rabel. Finds number 13, Esther Bolin. Nothing but air. And we've got a 20-20 tie-up. Number 24, the Wild Kittens, Rachel Clark. Number 20 for the Rough Riders, Cora Rabel. And the possession arrow favors the Wild Kittens.
That's about the 6th jump ball that we've had underneath the Bath Wild Kitten basket. So.
And you're right, that's where they all have been.
Yeah.
Looking back door to Rachel Clark. She puts it up, and it finds its way in. A little bit of a breakdown by the Rough Riders defensively, as Clark was able to put it in, and then trying to get in transition quickly with
Another
23
turnover.
seconds. We've got a travel call against the Rough Riders. Clark's going to trigger it in for the Wild Kittens.
Rough Riders cannot afford to lose their composure with 20 seconds remaining. 'Cause they could go in 6 down real quick if they allow a 3. Good job. Ball's on the floor. We got another jump ball.
So that's huge. Wild Kittens were playing for one last shot. The ball came loose, and Kendall Daringer sacrifices her body, makes a nice slide to dive to get that. 10.6 seconds. The Rough Riders can try to bring this within 1 or tie it up with a 3. We're at 5. Daringer finds Ruane. Ruane's going to have to find Kaywood inside. Kaywood puts it up and does not fall. So at the half, we've got a score on the Schaff Auto Sales scoreboard of Bath 23 and St. Mary's 20. We'll be back to talk about this half of action in a bit, but first we're going to hear from some of our sponsors. Are you faced with an injustice of the law? If so, call attorney David Walbacher for all your legal needs. That's attorney David Walbacher. 216-225-9181. For all of your insurance needs, see homegrown hometown agent Laura Yelton and her team, Doug, Susan, and Becky, at 215 East Spring Street in downtown St. Mary's, Ohio. Be a legend. Insure your life. At Schaff Auto Sales, we always have a large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles with prices to fit all budgets. So before you buy, give us a try. See Aaron High, the car guy. And thank you to the Rider Rooters. The Rider Rooters is proud to be a sponsor of tonight's game on Rider Nation Station. Rider Rooters supports all Memorial High School Rough Rider athletics. The official booster group of Memorial High School has been providing financial support to Rough Rider sports for over 40 years. Thanks to the Rough Rider community for all of your support. Well, we're back here at Murrow Tech Court, where we've got a tight game, where the Rough Riders are on a 12-game win streak, but they have a formidable foe that they're facing in the Bath Wild Kittens. Bath has only lost 2 games thus far in this 2019-2020 season, and they are 6-1 in the WBL. St. Mary's 4-3 in the WBL, and St. Mary's would like nothing more with the absence of their senior leader, Lauren Cisco, to be able to pull off a victory. But in order to do so, just as Coach Burke talked about, is a key of the game. They've got to be patient, play their game, not Bath's fast-paced, quick start, quick shot game, and they have to be able to defend. Bath is typically a formidable perimeter shooting team from the outside. They love to shoot the three. They've been a little bit cold, and Joe's going to talk to us a little bit about that. And we got to make certain that our defenders have a hand in the face and just limit to one shot opportunities. So it's going to be interesting to see what the last 16 minutes of play brings here at Murrow Tech Court for the Lady Riders as they try to improve their record overall and in the WBL to 5-3 and maintain that win streak that they've been on a mission with since 2020 has kind of started. So, Joe, what are we seeing statistically from the first half of action here at Murrow Tech Court?
Well, Doug, you hit it right on the head. The Rough Riders offense went south in the second quarter. Keep in mind, after the end of the first quarter, the Riders were 6 of 10 from the floor, and that includes 2 and 3 point shots. They were 6 of 10 for 60%. In the second quarter alone, they tossed up 9 shots, connected on just 1 for 11%. In the first half, they finished the first half shooting 37%, hitting on 7 of 19 from the floor. Rebounds, the Rough Riders pulled down 4 rebounds in the first quarter, 7 in the second for a total of 11. And turnovers was also a key in the first half for the Lady Riders. They turned it over a total of 9 times, 5 in the first quarter, 4 in the second. And from the free throw line, they're perfect, 3 for 3. They haven't been there a lot. They've only attempted, like I said, 3. They've connected on all 3 shots. From the floor for Bath, the Bath Wild Kittens, 6 of 14 for 42% in the first quarter, 4 of 23 for 17%. Their shooting went down a little bit in the second quarter, but overall they were 10 of 37 from the floor for 27%. They pulled down 10 rebounds in the first half, 4 in the first quarter, 6 in the second, and they only committed 3 turnovers in the first half. They've done a good job of protecting the basketball. And they were also perfect from the free throw line, but they haven't been there enough. They were just 1 for 1, and that came in the first quarter. So really, for the Rough Riders, they kind of let the game, let Bath in the ball game when they were just 1 for 9 in the second quarter.
So you go into the locker room, you got to be somewhat pleased that, you've played a decent first half of action, but the turnovers really have to be limited. And that's a tough task ahead of them because of the high intensity, full court baseline to baseline pressure that the Wild Kittens are putting on the Rough Riders.
And we've seen the Bath Wild Kittens change up their defensive strategy. We've seen them in a 2-3 zone. We've seen them in pressure. Of course, we've seen full court pressure. We've seen them pick them up 3-quarter court. So the Rough Riders have to be quick to see what the defense, the Wild Kittens are throwing at them, make adjustments, and move forward. I don't know. It's sometimes that they panic and they don't know what Bath is doing, and they've turned the basketball over, or they get a little excited to go a little faster than what Coach Burke would like them to do, and not be as patient as he should be. But nonetheless, I think those are just minor adjustments that he'll make at halftime, is just to play within yourself.
And playing within yourself, I think it's interesting to point out that the Wild Kittens playmaker, Ruby Bolin, she picked up that second foul about halfway, a little more than halfway into the second quarter of action, and she had to go sit. Yep, and that is definitely a positive for the Rough Riders. It's going to be interesting to see how Ruby Bolin comes out and starts the third quarter and how the Rough Riders manage her. But I think Coach Malk's been around for a long time. And what did you say within the last 50-some years? Yep. There's been 2 head coaches for the Wild Kittens.
You have to go back a long, long time, but a lot of people may remember Gretchen Pritchard.
Yep.
Gretchen was the head coach for the Lady Wild Kittens for like 28 years, I think he said. And then he took it over from Gretchen, and he's been there. This is his 22nd year. So 50 years.
And this has been one storied program.
Absolutely.
And you're going to get that when you have that basketball knowledge and consistency from year to year. But I think what's interesting, he realized that St. Mary's was able to slice and dice and get to the hole
Absolutely.
Against the man-to-man. And so he he
Changed
said,
it up.
I'm going to not allow that to
Right.
happen by going to that 2-3 zone. And, we've had a couple nice shots from the outside for the Rough Riders, but really they were making their hay by slicing and dicing and
Right.
putting it up off the backboard. So it'll be
Exactly.
interesting to see what Coach Mock determines to do when he comes back to start this third quarter of action. We're going to take another commercial break, and we will talk a little bit more about Rider Nation Station and some more statistics when we come back. At Schaff Auto Sales, we always have a large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles with prices to fit all budgets. So before you buy, give us a try. See Aaron High, the car guy. And we really would like to thank Schaff Auto Sales for being the scoreboard sponsor for tonight's contest, as well as the wrestling contest that we'll bring to you on Tuesday, and then February 14th, the boys contest versus Salinas. So thanks a lot to Schaff's Auto Sales. Thanks also to Rider Rooters, proud to be a sponsor of tonight's game on Rider Nation Station. Rider Rooters supports all Memorial High School Rough Rider athletics. The official booster group of Memorial High School has been providing financial support to Rough Rider sports for over 40 years. Thanks to the Rough Rider community for all your support. Are you faced with an injustice of the law? If so, call attorney David Walbacher for all your legal needs. That's attorney David Walbacher, 216-225-9181. And for all of your insurance needs, see homegrown, hometown agent Laura Yelton and her team, Doug, Susan, and Becky at 215 East Spring Street in downtown St. Mary's, Ohio. Be a legend, insure your life. Again, cannot thank you enough to those fine sponsors. Without them, this is not a reality. And Rider Nation Station has a mission of, yes, we did a lot of football games, but we would like to try to bring attention to our other sports. And we've done bowling, which was a lot of fun. We weren't real certain how to do that. And we're doing, obviously, this game tonight. We're doing wrestling, and we're doing boys basketball to close out the season. Joe, what do we have?
Well, let's take a look at some of the individual scoring in the first half. First of all, for the Lady Wild Kittens, their starters, Alexandria Renner had 2 points. Chandler Clark had 4. Ruby Bolin had 4 points. All those came in the first quarter. Madeline Renner had 3. Off the bench, Jadeja Harrison had 3. Esther Bolin had 5, and Rachel Clark had 2. So off the bench, the Bath Wild Kittens had 10 points off the bench. And we'll see how many the Riders had here in just a moment. For the Riders, Carly Kaywood had 2. Allie Will had 2. Elena Menker had 5. Kendall Daringer had 9 to lead all scorers. And Noe Ruane had 2. No scoring off the bench. So that's the individual scoring. But here again, I think the adjustments have been made by both coaches. And we'll see how things shake out here in the second half. The Rough Riders, again, just have to play within themselves. I think they'll be fine.
And we're going to start the third quarter with the starters for Bath. We've got number 4, Abby Dack, and number 11, Alexandria Renner. Number 22, Chandler Clark. Number 23, Ruby Bolin. Number 34, Madeline Renner. And for the Rough Riders, number 1, Carly Kaywood. Number 3, Allie Will. Number 4, Elena Minker. Number 11, Kendall Daringer. And number 15, Noe Ruane. Bath has the possession arrow, so they will start the third quarter as Renner triggers it into the point guard, Chandler Clark. She passes back to Renner on the left side. There's Ruby Bolin. Bolin is back. See how she performs in this third quarter. They have a set design
Blocked.
for a three-point play for Dakin. She gets it blocked. Back to Dakin, who fires it to Alexandria Renner, who hits a three-pointer. That's a little bit of a dagger there. You get a block, you can't come up with the loose ball, and you get faced with a three-point shot, bringing the score 26-20 for Bath. Daringer working against Dakin. To Ruane, swings left side to Maker. Maker's a great pure shooter, finds Kaywood inside with the left, just rolls around the rim, no good. Rebounded by number 11, Alexandria Renner. I think one of the keys to the game for this offensive side for the Rough Riders is Lainey Maker, who's a great pure shooter, has to shoot the ball more.
Exactly.
She buried a nice 3 on her only attempt, but we got Dakin firing a 3. It's short. She gets her own rebound. Again, 2 opportunities for the Wildcats, and that results in a foul against Noe Ruane with the block. The limitation of second chance opportunities is so critical in this game. And the first 2 possessions in the third quarter for Bath, we've seen the second chance opportunities.
And the Wild Kittens are too good as shooters to give them 2 and 3 shots at the basket.
Clark was fouled in the act of shooting, so she was rewarded with a trip to the free throw line. She buries the first one, extending that lead to 27-20. 4 dribbles, spin the ball, eyes it, she flies it, and rattles it in for the 28th point for the Wild Kittens. That full court press causing the Rough Riders some issues. Will throws it, gets kicked out by Renner. Kaywood slaps the ball, finds Will. They're going to trap that first pass. Will, nice bounce pass to Kaywood, finds Ruane, who goes opposite side to Manker with the left hand up and in. Joe, that's textbook. That is absolute textbook of how you break the full court man-to-man press. Quick in transition. She traveled.
Good job by Ruane on the block. Because it looked like Bath had an easy 2 with a crossover dribble and go into the hoop with it, but good block by Ruane to knock it out of bounds and give the ball back to the Rough Riders.
Triggers it into Will. Kaywood gets sucked in, passes to the left to Derringer to Laney Manker. She kicks back to Ruane on the far side. Kaywood with the dribbles, being guarded by Renner. Forces a pass that's stolen away by Renner. Renner's going coast to coast on this one, puts it up, and she short arms it into the bottom of the rim. Fortunate break for the Rough Riders, who in transition with Kaywood. Kaywood tries to pass over to the weak side block, but Chandler Clark with the good hustle knocks it out of bounds. Kendall Derringer finds Will. Will takes it to the baseline. Skip pass with the bounce pass to Derringer. Derringer finds Kaywood, who launches the 3, and she hits that 3-point basket, which is brought to you by State Farm agent Laura Yelton, your good neighbor agent.
Well, I'll tell you what, the out of bounds turnover by Bath, but the 3-point shot has changed the complexion of this game immensely.
It definitely has.
Just like that, boom, a 3-pointer by Kaywood, and they're back within 3.
And an unforced turnover by the Wild Kittens, which Coach Mock probably has no idea how that happened, as Will takes it in and gets fouled by Clark. Again, we talked earlier with that man-to-man. Rough Riders do a nice job of getting to the hoop, slicing and dicing, and Chandler Clark picks up her second foul. Kaywood gets the inbound pass, swings over to Noah Ruane, who throws it to the left side to Laney Manker, guarded by Renner. Kaywood guarded by Ruby Bolin. Ruby had to sit quite a bit of second quarter of action. Noah Ruane to Kaywood at the top. So we got a lot of movement without the ball, trying to find a little bit of breathing room. Derringer finds Kaywood, but forces it in again. It's tipped away, and another turnover against the Rough Riders as Madeline Renner comes away with it.
11 turnovers for the Lady Riders.
Probably a little more patience desired by the Rough Rider coaching staff if Kaywood is going to pick up a foul, reaching in against the point guard Chandler Clark.
Carly's going to pick up her first personal foul, team second here in the second half.
Substitution for the Wild Kittens, number 13, Esther Bolin checks in as number 34, Madeline Renner's going to get a breather. Nice sideline play, which Esther Bolin misses underneath. That was so well designed. And St. Mary's has got to definitely ratchet up their defense on those sideline plays because that's twice that's happened. Goes out of bounds on the Rough Riders. Fortunate break for the Wild Kittens as Noah Ruane defends Ruby Bolin up top. Switch. Another forced job. It's tipped, and it's going to be a turnover on the Wild Kittens.
2 turnovers for the Wild Kittens here in the third quarter. That's their 5th overall.
We've got 2 teams that are really trying to force that ball inside. And
bad pass
right there for another turnover against the Rough Riders on the Full court press. 13 with the rebound off the miss by Chandler Clark. She's fouled. She's going to the free throw line. So Bath is kind of taking a page out of the Rough Rider playbook of get to the hole, make things happen. And they were able to get an offensive rebound, get fouled. They're at the free throw line shooting 2. Number 13, Esther Bolin.
That was on Kendall Derringer. That's her first team's third.
See a nice picture of a little bit of the student section that turned out for tonight's basketball game. Again, the Rough Riders have a nice streak going. They want to maintain it, but they've got a formidable foe, and that should never happen, Joe. That's the free throw shooter who ran down her own rebound, kicks it off to Chandler Clark, who fires up a 3, but the Rough Riders are able to get the defensive rebound and get in transition with some nice dribbling by Kendall Derringer.
Nice pass inside.
With a nice bounce pass to Kaywood. 4-2, pulls it within 2 on the Schaff Auto Sales scoreboard, 27-29. The bounce pass was critical there.
Absolutely.
There's a walk and a walk.
And another walk.
Clark gets
Good
the ball
job.
stolen by Noe Ruane.
Well, she just took that one out of the air.
She tried to throw over the top of Ruane, and
said,
Ruane just said, oh,
I'll take it. Absolutely.
All right, Rough Riders getting a nice offensive set here. Bath is defending. No, Derringer fires up a 3, no good, but there's Ruane with another bounce pass.
Got her!
Kaywood with the basket and the harm. Boy, Noe Ruane, what an offensive rebound, but better just distribution to Kaywood right in the paint.
Absolutely.
Who puts it up, makes it, gets fouled, ties it 29-29, and she's here for the old-fashioned three-point play. She eyes it, she flies it, and she drills it. Nothing but net. Cora Rabel's going to check in as the Lady Riders take a 1-point lead over the Wild Kittens with 3:22 to go in the third quarter of action. Little token pressure, zone three-quarter court.
Now the
press.
Riders have got to guard the backside because they've been burnt there a couple of times in the first half.
Ball
knocked out of bounds.
Knocked out of bounds by Cora Rabel as Hardison had backed herself into the proverbial corner. Substitutions for Bath. Hardisty's going to take a seat, and checking back in for the Wild Kittens is Alexandria Renner, number 11. Esther Bolin dribbles. She puts it up.
Partially blocked.
It was partially blocked by Kaywood. It hits the side of the basket, and the Rough Riders maintain control. Allie Will finds Derringer on the right side, right in front of Coach Burke. Coach Burke assessing the offensive situation for the Rough Riders. Finds Rabel. Rabel dribbles to Derringer, who penetrates, but the ball gets knocked out by number 11, Alexandria Renner, and Ruby Bolin's able to come up with it. Another Rough Rider turnover. Finds Esther Bolin for the three-point shot in the baseline. Joe, she buried it.
She did.
She just absolutely buried that shot.
Those are like a rainmaker. She put some arch on that bad boy.
Yes, she did. All right, Riders are down by 2 points. 2:15 to go in this third quarter of action. Find Cora Rabel in the corner. Penetrates. Kicks over to Allie Will, who puts it up. Hits the iron, the backboard, the iron. Pulled down by Ruby Bolin. Clark walks it up, being guarded by Kendall Derringer. To Clark, to Bolin. Over to Renner, Alexandria Renner. Tries to find Clark with the three-pointer. She throws it away. Another unforced error for Coach Mock's Bath Wild Kittens.
Fourth turnover here in the third quarter for the Lady Wildcats. They had 3 in the entire first half. They've got 4 right now just in the third quarter.
Coach Mock brings back onto the floor number 4, Abby Dack, and number 34, Madeline Renner. And Coach Burke asked Helly Felver to come back, give Carly Kaywood a little bit of a breather with 1:45 to go in this third quarter of action. Derringer takes it all the way, gets her own rebound, finds Ruane.
Good job.
Kicks it back out to Allie Will. Felver with the screen for Ruane. Ruane kicks it to the top of the key to Will. Back to Ruane, who fires up a 3-ball, and it's good, Joe. nothing but net for Noe Ruane. And that three-pointer is brought to you by State Farm agent Laura Yelton, your good neighbor agent. Pressure again, three-quarter court for the Rough Riders. The Wildkittens handle it. Esther Bolin finds a bounce pass to Dakin.
Going to be a foul.
Dakin puts up the reverse. She gets fouled. She's going to go to the free throw line.
I think the foul is going to be on Felver. Yep. Haley Felver picks up the foul. That's her first, team's fourth here in the third quarter.
You know, Joe, you made an observation in the first half, which I think holds true thus far in the third quarter with this kind of faster paced game than probably Coach Burke wants, and baseline to baseline, full court pressure. There's relatively few fouls.
Yep.
1 minute to go. Bath 34, St. Mary's 33 on the Schaff Auto Sales scoreboard. That's going to be trouble.
It's going to be over and back.
That is definitely the right call.
That was the right call.
Referee Derryberry saw that we were jumping over the half-court line with the ball just coming into our hands, and all 3 points have to be over that line before you.
Yep, that was a good call.
Back to action. Alexandria Renner working against Allie Will. Hands it off to Clark. Clark against Manker. They swing over to Esther Bolin. Esther up top to Dakin. Renner. To Madeline Renner. Renner wants to set a pick against Daringer and then release. Well defended by the Riders. Clark puts it up, and then the penetration. It's going to go off the hands of Noe Ruane with 18.7 seconds to go. Something the Rough Riders have to be aware of. They want to do a little bit of pick and roll with Renner, who she's 5'9". She's very strong. She puts up a three-pointer, no good. But there's Clark with an offensive rebound. Passes it, gets the ball back. She puts it up, no good. There's Daringer. Got 9 seconds to Allie Will. She's fast in transition. She's going all the way to. She puts it up.
Got it.
And in with 3 seconds to take the lead as time expires at Merotech Court. The Lady Riders 35 and the Bath Wildkittens 34. We're going to take a break to thank our sponsors. We'll come back with the last 8 minutes of action here at Merotech Court. Hey, for all of your insurance needs, see homegrown hometown agent Laura Yelton and her team, Doug, Susan, and Becky at 215 East Spring Street in downtown St. Mary's, Ohio. Be a legend. Insure your life. At Schaff Auto Sales, we always have a large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles with prices to fit all budgets. So before you buy, give us a try. See Aaron High, the car guy. Are you faced with an injustice of the law? If so, call attorney David Wabacher for all of your legal needs. That's attorney David Wabacher. 216-225-9181. And the Rider Rooters is proud to be a sponsor of tonight's game on Rider Nation Station. Rider Rooter supports all Memorial High School Rough Rider athletics. The official booster group of Memorial High School has been providing financial support to Rough Rider sports for over 40 years. Thanks to the Rough Rider community for all of your supports. There we have it, Joe. We're back. 8 minutes to go in this very exciting WBL Thursday night matchup.
Well, here's the story. Third quarter, Riders again 6 for 10 shooting from the floor for 60%. Bath 2 of 13 for 15%. Bath had 4 turnovers in the third quarter. The Rough Riders 0.
We've got a 35-34 lead for the Rough Riders. Bath Wildkittens on D. Find Kaywood. Kaywood gets a little push in the back, no call.
Ooh,
she sets
mercy.
Heck of a screen.
Oh, that rattled my teeth.
Chandler Clark. And it was a clean screen. I'm glad I wasn't on the receiving end of that one.
Man, my teeth hurt.
Esther puts up a three. She's able to track down a long three-pointer, and again, we just cannot have that. Lady Riders got to maintain that box out until possession is maintained. Up top, Madeline Renner passes it over to Abby Dack and being worked against by Lainey Manker. To Esther. Rough Riders stay in the man-to-man defense. Clark works against Clark, gets double teamed,
Good
and
job.
there's Ruane, says, nah, baby, nah. I'll take that once
Exactly.
again. In transition, all the riders. Derringer's going all the way. She sees an opening, puts it up,
Foul. It's got to be a foul.
and we're going to get a foul. She's going to go to the charity stripe for 2.
Foul's going to be called on Alexander Renner. That's her first, team's third.
Personal foul number 11, Alexander Renner.
Boy, I didn't see much of an opening, but Kendall Derringer
Oh,
saw
yeah.
something, and she went to the hole hard and gets rewarded with a free throw. She dribbles, she spins, she eyes it, she flies it, and it's going to hit iron and not find its way through the cylinder. Ruby Bolin checks back in for the Wild Kittens, as does Jadeja Hardison. Kendall on the back end of her 2 free throws. She puts it up and hits.
And I'll tell
Back
you what,
iron.
when you got a game like this, Doug, the free throws are going to be key down the stretch.
So critical. Madeline Renner swings over to Clark, who finds Hardison, who thought about penetrating. She kicks it back out to Clark, who's guarded by Will. They're trying to extend us up high and get a little penetration.
Wessel got a foul called, I believe.
Personal foul number 22, Chandler Clark.
Looks like we had an elbow that the official saw, and that was totally away from the ball. And
Foul's going to be called on Chandler Clark. That's her third personal foul.
so we've got Clark and Ruby Bolin with 3 fouls. Good transition for the Rough Riders. Derringer picks up her dribble, finds Noah Wayne up top, and Will's going to restart things against this Wild Kitten man-to-man switching defense. Finds Wayne inside. She puts it on the ground. It's a cardinal mistake against this Wild Kitten, very scrappy team. Catch the ball, jump stop, square, and see what you can do with it. They've knocked away quite a few of our dribble opportunities underneath the basket. Possession arrow favored the Wild Kittens. St. Mary's with the 3-quarter press. And there's
Good
a
job.
turnover. Renner throws it right to Allie Will. Allie Will says thank you very much. Sets up an offensive set for the Rough Riders. 5:40 to go in this contest here at Murrow Tech Court. Will's penetrating. She stops. She gives Lainey Maker a shot opportunity inside the paint from 10. And she finds the soft rim and puts it in for 2. 37-34 on the Schaff Auto Sales scoreboard. Rough Riders deflect the pass as it crosses half court. Wild Kittens able to maintain it as Alexandria Renner finds Madeline Renner over to Hardesty. Hardesty to the top of the key with Ruby. Ruby tries to make a pass inside to Madeline Renner, but the ball is kicked. Noah Wayne's making it very
Yes, she
difficult
is.
for the Bath Wild Kittens to have any passing opportunities.
She's 5'7" sophomore, playing big tonight.
Renner shoots a deep 3 and hits
short.
the front iron, and there's Allie Will, who quickly gets rid of it to Kendall Derringer. She was feeling that presence of being double teamed, quickly got rid of it. Nice heads-up play by Allie Will. On the left side, Maker with the ball above her head against Renner. Finds Kaywood inside. She dribbles,
They don't
falls
have to be in
down,
a hurry.
finds Derringer, though. 4:30. Derringer puts it up and off the glass for 2, Joe.
Wow.
She just sees a sliver of an
Absolutely.
opportunity and takes advantage of it.
5-point lead, 39-34, Lady Riders.
Derringer into double digits
We got
with
a timeout.
11 points.
Greg Malk's not a happy camper.
Rough Rider lead extends to 5, 39-34. Schaff Auto Sales scoreboard. Coach Malk wants to take a break. Joe, let's go ahead and do the same.
Nice team, Beth Jackson.
Ryder Rooters is proud to be a sponsor of tonight's game on Ryder Nation Station. Ryder Rooters supports all Memorial High School Rough Rider athletics. The official booster group of Memorial High School has been providing financial support to Rough Rider sports for over 40 years. Thanks to the Rough Rider community for all of your support. For all of your insurance needs, see homegrown, hometown agent Laura Yelton and her team, Doug, Susan, and Becky, at 215 East Spring Street in downtown St. Mary's, Ohio. Be a legend. Insure your life. All righty, we're back here at Murrow Tech Court. Fourth quarter. Rough Riders up 39-34. And Kendall Derringer just broke into the double digits with a little slicing and dicing up off the glass. She has 11. Carly Kaywood has 10 points, and Elena Maker has 9 points. So some very well-balanced scoring from the top three scorers for the Rough Riders. And we've got 4:21 of action left here at Murrow Tech Court. It's a pleasure to bring you Rough Rider Sports here on Rider Nation Station.
I'm sure Coach Burke told his ladies at halftime, hang on to the basketball, and they've done just that. No turnovers here in the second half so far.
Coach Burke also goes into a little defensive switch of his own as we are now in a 2-3 zone. See how the Wild Kittens handle this. They find number 11, Renner. She goes back to Chandler Clark, who gives it back to Renner, who buries it, Joe. Number 11, Alexandra Renner. That was a good-looking shot. She did. 39-37, Rough Riders. Carly Kaywood working against Madeline Renner. Finds Derringer. Derringer guarded by Hardison. Over to Will. Will, dangerous pass, tipped away. The Bath Wild Kittens, any chance they get an opportunity to put a hand on the ball, they do so. Creates a little disruption with the Rough Rider offensive continuity.
Oh, my.
What a beautiful backdoor cut by Kendall Derringer. Beautiful delivery, but just finds the back iron, rebounded by the Wild Kittens. Madeline Renner's going to fire a deep three, and she hits it. Madeline Renner brings the Wild Kittens with the lead, 42-39 at the 3-minute mark of this fourth quarter.
You know, the three-point shot previously by Chandler Clark, that was the first points for the Bath Wild Kittens here in the fourth quarter, which probably came somewhere around the, 3:30, 3:40 mark in the game.
Coach Burke needed to slow his team down, and he's talking to them right now with a full timeout. So once again, we will touch base with our sponsors of Rider Nation Station. Are you faced with an injustice of the law? If so, call attorney David Walbacher for all of your legal needs. That's attorney David Walbacher, 216-225-9181. Rider Rooters is proud to be a sponsor of tonight's game on Rider Nation Station. Rider Rooters supports all Memorial High School Rough Rider athletics. The official booster group of Memorial High School has been providing financial support to Rough Rider sports for over 40 years. Thanks to the Rough Rider community for all of your support. Well, we're back here at Murrow Tech Court. What a fantastic WBL matchup between the Bath Wild Kittens and the St. Mary's Lady Riders. 2:54 to go. Riders down by 1, 40-39 on the Schaff Auto Sales scoreboard. Coach Burke needed to get their composure back, get the game plan where he wanted it, and hopefully he's able to
Good timeout by the Lady Riders.
Say that was a good timeout. Backdoor screen by Derringer, tries to open up Ruane to the basket. Well defended by the Wild Kittens. Will at the dribble against Hardison.
Don't have to get rid of it. They're going to get a 5-second call.
She's going to the hoop, so it got stopped. She finds it just a little bit short.
And a foul. I think foul's going to be called on Allie Will, I believe.
Allie was dangerously close to getting that 5-second count, but she made the basketball move to the hoop. Just missed the layup, and the Wild Kittens have the ball full court to go. Rough Riders picking up a little bit of token pressure on their own. Get it across to Ruby Bolin. Bolin to Madeline Renner. Swings over to Clark. Down to Hardison. Rough Riders almost stepped in the passing lane there. Allie will. They want to make certain that they're picking up any uncontested shots, but as I was getting ready to say that, Hardison fired an uncontested three-pointer, missed, but nice boxing out by the Rough Riders as the Wild Kittens get assessed with a foul.
The foul was on Ruby Bolin as she crashed the boards. That's her third. Good job by the Lady Riders breaking the press, but they lose it.
Tipped from behind again. Wild Kittens have had several of those. There had to be a walk. Had to be a walk.
No basket, traveling.
And not only did it have to be a walk, it was a walk, Joe.
It was.
And nice job with the referees talking about it and waving that basket off.
Break for the Lady Riders. 1:43 remaining here in the ball game. They trail by 1.
That's the importance of the 3 official crew to pick
Oh,
that
my.
up. Kaywood's going to take it hard to the hole. She gets bumped.
Yes!
But she puts it in. Carly Kaywood with a very aggressive offensive move. Gets fouled. Not called. Doesn't matter. 41-40. Rough Riders take the lead on the Shaft Auto Sales scoreboard. Kick out to Hardison, the right side. Hardison penetrates, kicks back out to Clark. Somebody's got to guard Ruby.
Absolutely.
Don't want to leave her uncontested. They've done a nice job. She's only got 4 points as Hardison fires up that 3. Hard on the iron, and there she is, Joe.
Yep.
We've got to box out. The
Yep.
limitation of second chance opportunities has been the Achilles heel for the Rough Riders.
Absolutely.
And just mentioned that Ruby Bolin was only at 4 points. Gets that offensive rebound, gets fouled with 1:04. She's rewarded with a trip to the free throw line.
Lady Riders have got to eliminate second chance points. And of course, this one, when Ruby Bolin got the rebound, it was a hard foul. It was a good foul, in all honesty. She hits 2 free throws.
2 automatics for Ruby Bolin. Takes the lead for the Wild Kittens, 42-41. Kaywood to Will. Will to Maker. She's going to find a little bit of an opportunity. Gets blocked from behind by number 23, Ruby Bolin. Rough Riders will trigger the ball in underneath of their own basket with 55 seconds to go. Down 1. Kendall Daringer looking for her options. Release valve to Maker. Maker swings over to the left side to Will. Will finds Carly Kaywood, the workhorse for the Rough Rider offense. 12 points for Kaywood. Swings over to Kaywood behind the arc on the left side. Swing pass to Maker. Bounce pass to Will with the ball above her head. Thought about penetrating. Kicks back out top. Daringer, Hardison. She's trying to find something. She puts it up. She's fouled.
That's 2 shots. That's going to be 2 shots. Good behind the back dribble.
Kendall Daringer, the sophomore point guard for the Rough Riders, takes her into the paint left. Behind the dribble to the right side, puts up the shot, and she is bumped on the shot by Hardison. Kendall Daringer.
And how big are these?
These are huge.
Pretty big.
They're bigly.
Oh, gosh.
I think she's 0 for 3 in her last attempts, Joe. Time to put this one down as Coach Mock calls for a Wild Kitten timeout. We're at 24 seconds, 41-42. We're going to stay right here, Joe. 24 seconds. Got the young sophomore shooting the free throw to tie the score up. And then the Rough Riders need to make certain that they play good defense.
Absolutely.
And not only, good defense, hand in the face, they've got to box out once that shot is put up.
They cannot afford to give the Lady Wild Kittens a second chance opportunity, because sooner or later they're going to connect. They're a good ball club, but the Lady Riders have held their own. They're, at one point in time we saw the momentum switch, and I think Bath maybe had creeped up to maybe a 7-point, 8-point lead at the most, but the Riders kept plugging away. Never say die attitude, and they just kind of hang in there, and they got themselves back in this ball game. And this is a big free throw for Kendall Daringer. So
this is a huge free throw, and free throws where ball games won and lost.
Absolutely.
And no matter if St. Mary's commits a foul or Bath commits a foul, we're then in the 1-and-1 situation with the last 24. Speaking of stepping up, in the JV contest, Joe, the St. Mary's Lady Riders won 36-34. Amelia Ankerman steps up and hits a game-winning bucket with 3.4 seconds and a fantastic finish for the JV team. Here it is. Kendall Daringer. She dribbles. She spins it. She eyes it. She flies it. And she hits it. Nothing but net. We've got a tie score. 23 seconds to go.
Oh, the Riders steal it.
She's got a lane. Passes it
It's
over.
up. Oh, missed
Daringer
it.
misses the right
man,
side.
they had it.
Now we've got transition to Ruby Bolin. Bolin's going hard to the basket. She puts it up.
No! No.
It's no good.
Second
Rebounded.
shot. No. 8 seconds.
Oh, and that's a
Oh, here they
thing.
come. Here comes the
5
Riders
seconds.
with 5.
Daringer, she's going to put it up. She's got 3. She's got to put up. Finds Kaywood, puts it up off the glass.
No! Oh, my.
Mercy.
Oh,
It's overtime here at Murrow Tech Court. The Lady Riders had 2 fantastic opportunities to finish this game, and it's tied. We're going to have 3 minutes of action. Unbelievable is the only words that I can utilize to express what just transpired there, Joe.
wow, absolutely. The Lady Riders had a shot at the end and it just wouldn't fall, but nonetheless, we're going to an extra 3. And I'll tell you what, an extra 4. We're going to an extra 4 minutes. So and I'm sure Coach Malk was not a happy camper because they had opportunities down here and they just kind of let them go out the window as well. So this has been a dandy.
What a great game for the Rough Rider faithful who came out to watch, to observe. What a great game for Rider Nation Station to do for the girls for this 2019-2020 season. And it's going to be a great last 4 minutes. To recap, we played 4 quarters of action. It's tied 42-42 on the Schaff Auto Sales scoreboard.
You know, the Bath Wildkittens in the 4th and final quarter made 2 baskets. And those
Wow.
were both threes.
And they were pretty much bang, bang, too. And they were
Yep.
because of second
That was
chance opportunities
Absolutely.
as well. Both teams are sitting at 6 team fouls apiece. So no matter what, we're going to see the next foul resulting in a 1-and-1. Official John Derryberry gets the teams heading the right direction as they lined up for this overtime jump ball, facing the wrong direction.
Well, I didn't plan for this in my book.
That's a rookie mistake.
It is a rookie mistake.
And the Wild Kittens control the tip just as they did to start this game off. 42-42 here at Murrow Tech Court. Ruby Bolin working against Noah Ruane. Finds Clark. Good switch by Ruane. Hardison guarded by Will. Looking inside to Bolin. No avail. Long 3 by Clark. Hits the front iron. And another, I was going to say second chance opportunity, but Carly Kaywood comes up big with ripping that loose ball away from Hardison. Maker on the O of MTO.
Bad pass.
It was a good thought because
Good thought.
the
Tried to force
Wild
it.
Kittens were overextending their defense, and,
Right.
and Noe did a nice job of cutting back, just didn't get the delivery where it needed to be, resulted in a turnover and a foul, and the Rough Riders have now committed 17 fouls, leading to Madeline Renner shooting 1 and perhaps the bonus.
Tell you what, the Lady Riders have done a whale of job on Ruby Bolin. She had 4 points in the regulation, all in the first quarter, has not been a factor.
Oh my, we've got a train wreck there, and Carly Kaywood is called for the offensive player control foul. She took it to the basket like she was on a mission.
And Ruby Bolin is down and slow to get up, and she's holding her head.
Joe is they're tending to Ruby Bolin at this point in time. I want to talk about what transpired down on the defensive side for them. We've been talking second chance opportunities. The shot was up. Carly Kaywood had a nice box out, but wasn't in a good enough position to grab the rebound. She tipped it.
Right.
She did a nice job tipping it to her teammate, whom I can't remember who it was now, but that's a heads up
It
play
is.
right there. Then she gets it back,
Right.
and she was full steam ahead, getting it to the hoop.
Now, those are
And-
the things that you can't coach.
Nope.
Those are just good basketball instincts to do that.
Absolutely. So Ruby Bolin is up, and she is heading to the team bench. She took a charge.
She's still on the sideline holding her head.
And a little unique rule with basketball, player control fouls do not get rewarded with free throw opportunities.
A second chance
And
there.
there was a second chance opportunity that Madeline Renner gets the offensive rebound and the putback off of the initial Hardison shot to take the lead 44-42. 2:45 to go in this overtime session for the Riders and the Wild Kittens. Will with the ball above her head, being guarded by Hardison. Makes a penetration move, finds an opportunity.
Blocked.
Blocked by number 34, Madeline Renner. The Wild Kittens have had their hand on many shot opportunities by the Rough Riders in the course of this game. Rough Riders have to step up their defensive effort, limit the shot opportunities to one. Possibly a turnover. Nope, corralled by Clark, who spin dribbles, gets it to Madeline Renner. Right side to number 13, Esther Bolin, who finds the point guard, number 22, Chandler Clark. Hardison working against Maker. 2 minutes to go. Hardison looking for a backdoor cut by number 11, Renner. It's not there. Kicks out to Hardison. Coach Mock's okay with taking a little bit of time off the clock. Got 2 points, got a dead ball. Oh, we got an opportunity.
Timeout.
Coach Mock called a timeout because he wasn't like what he was seeing with the offensive opportunity, but his back was not turned correctly because Renner was taking that ball down the middle of the paint for an uncontested layup. So a good opportunity for the Rough Riders with that timeout. We're just going to go ahead and stay here. It's a 30-second timeout, and what a game, Joe.
It is. It's been a great ball game. Both teams have played hard. They put everything on the floor. And, of course, keep in mind the Bath Wild Kittens came in with a record of 17-2. The Lady Riders on a 12-game winning streak come in with a record of 15-4. And they have not disappointed.
It's been a fantastic game. Riders had their opportunities, so did the Wild Kittens, but it went into overtime, and here we are with 1 minute, 42 seconds to go. Wild Kittens with the ball and a 2-point lead. See what Coach Burke has in store for his Lady Riders with the last 1 minute, 42 seconds to go in this overtime period. Hardison triggers into Madeline Renner. Renner's done a nice job on both sides of the court today.
I don't think Bath's going to be in any hurry. They're going to try to force St. Mary's to foul them and put them at the line.
I agree with that.
Boland's back in the ball game. Ruby
missed a wide open Alexandria Renner underneath the basket. To the point guard, Chandler Clark. She's going to get double teamed. She dribbles through it, and there's going to not be a turnover. There's going to be a foul called against the Rough Riders. So that brings Chandler Clark to the free throw line, shooting 1 and 1. 9th team foul against the Rough Riders. Clark, she dips, she flips, and she's hard on the iron, but rebounded by Bolin, who gets tied up with Allie Will, and the possession arrow favors the Rough Rider. That is a big tied up possession arrow right there.
Where Ruby Bolin got a little aggressive, starts swinging an elbow or two. I'm surprised she didn't get called for that. But nonetheless, Rough Riders have the ball.
Daringer working against Clark. She gets it across the half-court line with 1:05 to go. Finds Will. Will at the volleyball line. Noe Ruane.
We're under a minute.
To Maker. Found Allie Will, who puts it up and finds it. Ties this ball game up. And Coach John Burke wants to go ahead and call a timeout and talk things over with 49.6 seconds left to go. So we're going to go ahead and talk to our sponsors here. First, for all of your insurance needs, see homegrown hometown agent Laura Yelton and her team, Doug, Susan, and Becky, at 215 East Spring Street in downtown St. Mary's, Ohio. Be a legend. Insure your life. Are you faced with an injustice of the law? If so, call attorney David Walbacher for all your legal needs. That's attorney David Walbacher, 216-225-9181. Rider Rooters is proud to be a sponsor of tonight's game on Rider Nation Station. Rider Rooters supports all Memorial High School Rough Rider athletics the official booster group of Memorial High School, has been providing financial support to Rough Rider sports for over 40 years. Thanks to the Rough Rider community for all your support. And at Schaff Auto Sales, we always have a large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles with prices to fit all budgets. So before you buy, give us a try. See Aaron High, the car guy. Hey, we're back here at Murrow Tech Court. 49.6 ticks of the clock that are left. And once again, Joe, it is tied. This time 44-44.
Rough Riders are going to have to play within themselves and not foul and put Bath on the line. They're shooting well from the free throw line, as are the Riders. But they're going to put some pressure on, force Bath to hurry it up the court.
Hardison with it at the volleyball line. Looking for a double team by Mankert, and Kaywood backs off. Daringer tries to get a pick off of Clark. Clark kicks it back to Renner. Renner over to the right side to Hardison. We're under 30 seconds. Hardison guarded by Laney Manker. Dribbles to the left side. Hands off to Clark. Clark guarded by Daringer. Tries to double team. Kaywood's going to get tagged with a foul. She bumps her as Clark was picking up her dribble. Chandler Clark was just at the free throw line where she missed. St. Mary's has now committed 10 team fouls, which means there's an automatic 2 shots this time. Coach Burke, with 18.4 seconds, wants to talk things over. We're still tied 44-44. Here at Rider Nation Station, we're pleased to be able to bring to you Rough Rider Athletics. We had a whale of a time back in December showing you Rough Rider bowling. 2 state championship teams, the boys and the girls from St. Mary's, bowled against the Wapakoneta Redskins. And you can catch that by going to Rider Nation Station on YouTube and checking that broadcast out. And then we've got a couple contests coming up. We're going to bring to you wrestling. How much do you know about wrestling, Joe?
0.
That's why we're having David Wabacher do the commentary for that. David was a state qualifier here for Memorial High School and went on to wrestle and be an All-American for the University of Findlay and helped coach at Cleveland State. And he's helping the Rough Riders this season. So he's going to do the commentary along with Zach Farrell, and we're going to do the boys' game against Salina on Valentine's Day. Hopefully Bev's okay with that.
She is. She'll be out of town.
Okay.
Works out good.
2 big free throws coming up for the Bath Wild Kittens.
These are big. Oh, nothing but net.
She buries that one. The Wild Kittens get the lead with that free throw, 45-44.
Still plenty of time remaining, 18.4 seconds. Riders can get it down. And
that one rattles, no good. Pulled down by
my.
Kaywood. Rough Riders have 2 timeouts. Pick up the ball to Ruane. We're at 10 seconds in the hands of Will. We're going to look for a little bit of penetration, put the ball up. We got to get something going here.
Oh,
she makes a crazy shot. No good. Ruby
not a good
pulls
shot.
down the rebound.
That's it.
And at the conclusion of overtime, the Schaff Auto Sales scoreboard reads Bath Wild Kittens 45, St. Mary's Rough Riders 44. The streak ends for the Rough Riders with this very hard-fought, valiant effort by the Rough Riders, and they will now go to 4-4 in league play, and the Wild Kittens will now go to 7-1. We're going to talk to our sponsors, give Joe just a second to do his statistics. We'll come back and see how this game played out by the numbers. Rider Rooters is proud to be a sponsor of tonight's game on Rider Nation Station. Rider Rooters supports all Memorial High School Rough Rider athletics. The official booster group at Memorial High School has been providing financial support to Rough Rider sports for over 40 years. Thanks to the Rough Rider community for all your support. At Schaff Auto Sales, we always have a large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles with prices to fit all budgets. So before you buy, give us a try. See Aaron High, the car guy. Are you faced with an injustice of the law? If so, call attorney David Walbacher for all of your legal needs. That's attorney David Walbacher, 216-225-9181. And for all of your insurance needs, see homegrown, hometown agent Laura Yelton and her team, Doug, Susan, and Becky, at 215 East Spring Street in downtown St. Mary's, Ohio. Be a legend. Insure your life. Well, back here at St. Mary's Merotech Court, tough one for the Lady Riders as they lose in overtime, 45-44 against the Bath Wild Kittens. Bath Wild Kittens nailed it with the free throw, missed the second one. Carly K. Wood pulls it down. Riders in transition. They get a shot before time expired in overtime, but it does not go in, and the Riders go to 4-4 in league play, 15-5 overall. Again, Rough Riders Sports will be brought to you on Rider Nation Station, as on Tuesday we will bring to you Rough Rider Wrestling, and that's against the arch rival team from across the lake, the Salina Bulldogs. Brought to you by Dave Walbacher and Zach Farrell doing the commentary. And then on Friday, Joe and I will be back here to bring you boys basketball as the Rough Riders take on that same team from across the lake, the Salina Bulldogs. And beyond the sporting events, the Rider Nation Station is going to start up its vodcast, the historic interviews, where we will interview community people, people involved in athletics, people involved in education, as well as some St. Mary's event, place, or thing. We got a lot of neat interviews that are lined up for the 2020 season for vodcast. So subscribe to our free YouTube station at Rider Nation Station and catch all of our vodcasts. All right, Joe, let's hear it by the numbers.
All righty. Taking a look at shooting from the floor for the St. Mary's Rough Riders. Overall, this includes the overtime. They were 16 of 38 for 42%. The Bath Wild Kittens were 16 of 64 for 25%. From the free throw line, the Riders were 5 of 9 for 56%. Bath 9 of 13 for 69%. The rebounding edge was tight. They both went to the glass extremely hard, fought hard. Bath pulled down 24 rebounds. The Lady Riders 23 turnovers. Both teams committed 11 turnovers in the contest. For the Rough Riders, they did a much better job in the second half and in the overtime session, as they only turned the ball over one time two times in the second half, 9 in the first. So they did an extremely good job of hanging on to the basketball, but again, just came up 1 point short. Individual scoring looks like this. We'll take a look at first the Lady Wild Kittens, who now run their records to 18-2, 7-1 in the Western Buckeye League. Abby Dakin finished with 2 points on 2 free throws. Alexandria Renner had 8 points. Chandler Clark had 9. Ruby Boland had 4 points, and again, not much of a factor, but of course she did her thing, just her presence on the floor. Those 4 points came early in the ball game on 4 points early in the first quarter. She was held scoreless the rest of the ball game. Madeline Renner for Bath finished with 8 points, and then off the bench, Jadeja Hardison had 3 points. It was Esther Boland with 9, as well as Rachel Clark with 2 to round out the scoring for the Lady Kittens. For the Lady Riders, it was their 5 starters that put all the points on the scoreboard. They got nothing off the bench. Carly K. Wood had 11 points. It was Allie Will with 6. Elena Menker had 9. Kendall Deringer had 12 points tonight to lead all scorers, and Noe Ruane finished with 5. So all in all, the Rough Riders put up 44 points, just 1 point shy of coming away with an upset win. They finished their record runs to 15-5. Of course, their 12-game winning streak comes to a halt, and they are 4-4 in the Western Buckeye League. So I'll tell you what, hats off to both clubs. They played well. The Lady Riders had opportunities. They had opportunities in the regulation when Kendall Deringer had an opportunity to go to the free throw line, and she made 1 of 2. She could have gave the Rough Riders a lead at that point in time, but missed on the second one and went into overtime. So, and they just fall up 1 point short.
Yep, fantastic game, and this is one as a player where it's going to run through your mind often. You close your eyes, go to bed, you're going to see that opportunity that had just kind of slipped away, but they have nothing to hang their heads
Absolutely
about,
not.
Joe.
Absolutely not. And I'll tell you what, they just get better, and they're going to get better. Both of these teams were extremely young. As I mentioned, the Bath Wildkittens starting 2 freshmen and I think 3 juniors. The Rough Riders, of course, starting 3 sophomores and 2 seniors. So there's a lot of promise for both these clubs.
As we mentioned, back in the 2000s, it was a lot of fun to watch the Lady Riders and Wild Kittens match up, and I think we've got a nice ring going here for the next successive years to see the same thing. All righty, for Joe Hurlburt, I'm Doug Spencer, and thank you for tuning in to Rider Nation Station. Thank you to our sponsors. Give them a shout out and say, hey, thanks for sponsoring Rider Nation Station. Until wrestling, so long, everybody.
I pulled this book out of my archive because it's the only one that I could find. And we got these because they were so small. Kyle Menchover was the head coach at New Knoxville back in 1999. That's how old this bad boy is. Oh, man. That setting stuff kills me.